So that's the marketing support that we bring. Let's talk about sales support, because a very common problem partners of ours have is that they're quite competent technical people or IT shops, but when it comes to sales and marketing, they're relatively lightly resourced. They may not have a dedicated marketing person in-house or a dedicated salesperson in-house even. So our sales organization is set up to help you. Our partner specialists, not only will they bring you into the SOS partnership fold, but they then work with you as your backup specialist, and you can bring them into calls and webinars and presentations to help you close business. And that's particularly important early on to get you into the market rapidly and help you deploy this and sell it to as many people out of the gate as possible. And we're the only company that really does that. It's a very unique way to set up a sales organization. Training we've already touched on, but the SOS training courses are going on every day. There are 3 different streams, one for your salespeople, one about the SOS backup technology in general, and one for your technical support people. So those are real-time training sessions that go on a daily basis, and then of course there's pre-recorded and pre-prepared training materials available in the Partner Resource Center. And lastly, but most importantly, in my opinion, the support. We've got wonderful support available to our partners. As an SOS partner, there are actually 4 people assigned to you. Your account manager, who takes care of the health of the relationship. Your support representative, who's your support lead. He may not work on all of your tickets, but he's your overall support lead. Your partner delivery consultant, and that's the person that works with you to get you into the market and actually launch your product. And then, of course, your partner specialist, who works as your extended sales team that we already talked about. So what are the markets that you can sell this to successfully? These on screen here are the markets we've seen our partners have the most success with. So in terms of vertical markets, the medical and healthcare sector is a very hot market for online backup. HIPAA regulations pretty much necessitate HIPAA subject businesses, anybody who's dealing with EPHI, electronic protected health information. The HIPAA regulations pretty much dictate they have to use online backup. It doesn't prescribe online backup explicitly, but it does require all digital content to be fully versioned, fully encrypted, and stored on site. And online backup's really the only cost-effective way of doing that. Similarly, in the financial services sector, the Sarbanes-Oxley regulations have made the fin services sector a very rich target for selling backup services. And legal, government, and education have been using off-site document management, off-site archiving, and off-site backup for a very long time and have significant, often established budgets already in place. So if you're servicing, say, local government offices, or there's an opportunity for you to sell to county or state-level local government offices, in particular, it's an excellent market. And then in terms of the business needs we're solving, obviously it's a general backup and archiving solution, but also we've seen success marketing it as a dedicated laptop fleet solution or a branch office solution. Of course, traditional server backup, email servers, app servers, database servers are strong business needs that this solves. And more recently, we've seen it being positioned as a remote data access or mobile data access solution as well. Just flipping through a couple of case studies of existing partners. I'll flip through this slide, which I usually focus on. This is a partner of ours who developed a unique pricing model that we now have adopted as the de rigueur pricing model for all of our partners. And it works like this. You approach your customers, and you don't price them on a per gigabyte basis. You price them on a per business basis. So the sales pitch is that you'll do an assessment, a risk audit, a data audit. You'll design a full disaster recovery plan and provide that to them and to their auditors. You'll then do a fully managed backup deployment where you install the backup and on all of the machines in their environment, and you back up all of their data, total business protection. And you do that for a flat fee per month, say $500. Under the hood, you figure out how many gigabytes you actually have to provision, and you deploy those gigabytes. But you don't price it that way. You price it on the basis of the number of seats, the number of people in the organization. Approaching backup pricing that way is a wonderful way to keep revenue margin high. So in this case, this partner is actually earning 82% gross margin on products sold. His cost to us is $12,000 a year, but he's built a revenue stream of $70,000. So exceptionally high gross margin being earned there. And there's radically disparate pricing in the market for online backup. You can sell online backup to a doctor for $500 a month and sell the exact same package to a consumer for $500 a year. So there really is different approaches to backup pricing depending on the vertical that you're focusing on and depending upon the services that you wrap around the core backup offering. And that's where our Partner Resource Center comes in. It's designed to give you the capabilities to wrap up the backup product with all of those other services needed for you to sell as a high-margin solution. Got some questions here on the line. Drew asks, is there a minimum seat requirement to have SOS? No, Drew, there's not. Dan asks, is there any virus protection? What if the client backs up an infected file? Then the file is fully encrypted and fully compressed. So if the file was infected, there's no way for it to infect anything else, but the cloud would be a perfect copy of the infected file. So you determine when the infection occurred and you'd recover the data prior to the infection. Dan also asks, is there a minimum upload bandwidth speed that you suggest for your software to be efficient? DSL and up, Dan. So if you've got a 500 kilobit connection up, there'll be no problems with the software. The company was launched in a market where dial-up was the predominant form of connectivity. So the software will actually work with dial-up or other high latency, low bandwidth connections like satellite connections, but certainly DSL is recommended. On the screen here is another example of the type of software we have available for branding. So our vulnerability scanner is a marketing tool used by partners, scans the machine and quickly determines how much data it has on it to be backed up in different categories. So you can see here in the foreground it's branded SOS, in the background branded Degree Online Backup. And you can see that this customer's got 4.65 gigs of data that is backed up, data to be backed up, 2,943 files. And here 69,000 files have been found and scanned. So this is a type of marketing tool, but it's really a marketing product hybrid. It's a piece of software that we can rebrand for you that you then use the marketing tool to help drum up business among your customers. Covered this. So in closing, the reason we pick SOS as your backup partner is really because we're the largest supplier of white label online backup services in the world. We lead the space, and we lead it for a reason. We've got the leading technology. We won't be beaten on price. We've got fantastic price points for our partners. A very deep delivery and support organization that covers everything from infrastructure through sales, marketing, training, support. And at the end of the day, it's about helping you launch a product where you can earn high margins on a recurring revenue base at anywhere from 20 to 60% gross margin on products sold. So that brings us to the end of the presentation section of the webinar and begins the Q&A. In terms, for those of you who are short on time, the details of the Kindle promotion, so you need to call in and talk to our partner specialist, say that you're on the partner webinar today, and you've got to provide a promotion code. That promotion code is KDX893, Kilo Delta X-Ray 893. The number is on the screen. It's a free call in the United States, 877-896-3611, or for outside the United States, +1 310-878-2626. And while you're there, request a mock-up and request the team do an ROI model for you. It's a brief series of questions they'll run you through, and they'll build a spreadsheet for you which shows you the type of revenue you can expect and the sort of profit and cash flow you can make. Probably one of the best uses of 10 minutes I think there is in this space. Much more valuable than spending 40 minutes listening to me. And again, that's an ROI model that the team will put together for you. So call in, put your name into the Kindle, ask for an ROI model and a mock-up. All right, moving to questions. Is deduplication performed? On our back end we do, but in terms of, it doesn't matter from your perspective, David. What you see is what you get. If you protect 10 gigs, then that uses 10 gigs of your allocation in the cloud. Scott says, Mozy emails health reports to our company and clients every morning. Does SOS have a similar feature? Absolutely, Scott. It's built into the product email backup reports. You can select during the setup wizard. Drew says, is 877 toll-free from Canada? I doubt it, Drew. I'm not sure about the cross-border rules for the 877 number. I know it does not work from Australia, where I'm from, but the +1 310 878 2626 will work from Canada. Got requests for the contact information and the Kindle information. Kindle information is KBX893. Contact number is in the US, free call 877-896-3611. Outside the US, +1 310 878 2626. You mentioned, Steve asks, you mentioned Windows OSs. How about other client OSs, i.e. Linux, Mac OS X? Steve, we're launching a native Mac product in summer. It's in beta at the moment. As far as Linux is concerned, we don't have a native client, but we have tens of thousands of customers backing up Linux. So long as you have a single Windows PC on the network, it can work in an agentless fashion from a single machine. So it can pull data across the network, whether that's from NAS devices or from other network-attached storage or from Linux machines. So long as you have a single Windows PC in your environment, you'll be fine. Ernie asks, can I get a copy of this seminar for sharing with my staff? Ernie, you'll get an email following up with a video of the presentation, and the webinar is available in our webinar archives page on the website, including all of the other webinars on this topic that have happened previously. So yes, absolutely. And that's the extent of the questions we have at the moment. Any other questions on any topic that I can address? What's the typical path to break even? Well, break even, I don't know, John. From a revenue standpoint, typical time to revenue is about a month. So we'll have you in the market within 2 weeks, and then within a month, your aim should be to have several $1,000s worth of sales. You can certainly start that sales prospecting right now, so particularly if you have, for example, the mock-up. And from a break-even standpoint, I guess that depends upon what other costs you've got launching to get into the market. But that's where the ROI model we do comes in. Really recommend you take 10 minutes to do the ROI model with our staff, and they'll give you a great sense of how much revenue you can drive and in what kind of time frame. All right, well, we don't have any other questions, so we'll end the webinar there. Ernie wants to talk. Sorry, in terms of how to get to our partner team, if you just call the number I listed, there'll be a voice menu. And I think, I believe it's press 1 for sales. But it's very obvious from the voice menu that it will read off to you. So please do just call in and follow the prompts, as it were. Great. Well, thank you, everybody, for your attendance and participation. We love having audience participation in these webinars and look forward to having you in the audience again sometime in the future. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.